Hey YouTube, what's going on? Just Friday video, and it's going to be a follow-up on the Joyetech eVic VT. Variable temperature, I believe it stands for. Let me get the box out again. I'm really not that technical, and it's the variable temperature control system. And I got to say, there are two things that I've noticed about this, and I don't have lots of these, or any other one of these type of mod things to compare it to, but a whole bunch of my friends do. They got the e-leaf and the e-cig and the Sigley, and I don't know, there's a whole bunch of other ones that they're messing around with, and I've just literally got into these. Remember, I told you in the last video that these regular e-cigarettes is what I've been smoking up until now, which is cute, and it works, but hasn't been able to really cut it. And I'll tell you the thing that I noticed about this awesome, well, there's a couple of things that I'm going to update you on now a week later after using it for a week. Is the first thing, which is, in my opinion, one of the most important things, is that I've only charged it once. And you can see it's got 3/4 full. I don't know if you can see there. I don't know. Maybe. Okay, I hope you could see that. Anyway, it's 3/4 full, and I charged it yesterday, on Thursday, and I've had it since Monday. I believe it was Monday, and I've only charged it once. I'm not a heavy user. Remember, I'm using this only to quench the need for a cigarette, which I'm going to actually get into in a minute and talk about that in another video that I'm going to post. But actually, you know what? I'm going to make it a double. So basically, what do I go into this now? That's the question. You know what? I'm going to make another video because it deserves a totally separate video on why I actually got this Joyetech this time. But right now, I'm just going to stick to the subject at hand, is this particular e-cigarette, vape stick, whatever you want to call it. I love it. It's very, very efficient, and the thing that I noticed again is that the battery life is phenomenal. So I can't imagine how much you need to be vaping to finish this in one day. I can't imagine. I really cannot imagine. I don't think it's possible unless you just sit there the whole day. And literally all day long do that. Then maybe you can finish this battery in a day. But so far, I've only charged it once in the last week. And again, I'm not a heavy user. I hit it a few times a day, just, you know, when I get the urge to smoke something. So I hit it, right? Because I can't smoke cigars every day. They're not that good. They're not good for you. You know, and I mean, I'm not saying that this is good for you, but it's not particularly bad for you, especially if you have what they have put here, and a lot of them do now, is the temperature control. And I was actually discussing this with someone in the Reddit forums, and they didn't seem to know what they were talking about, and this is obviously the reason why there is temperature control, is because different things, different flavors, different e-juices, different, you know, mixtures and combinations and whatever else goes into some of these e-juices all have different burning points, right? So they have a point at which, where you go above a certain temperature, you're going to start burning carcinogens. So I have found that with this is at 320 degrees. It goes up to like 560 or 600, something ridiculous. Getting nice clouds. And that's really not that hot at all, 320 degrees. I mean, I've done a little bit of searching around, and I've seen that the optimal, not that you know you're not going to be burning any carcinogens, is about 340, 350, and I'm sticking to about 320, 310. Let's try 300. See that? Not a lot of vapor, but I got a lot of taste there. So it's not a lot of vapor, but I've got a lot of taste there. That's at 300 degrees at 30 watts, 0.39 ohm. Okay, so the variable temperature, I would say if you're getting one of these, just to play with it, mess around with it, and find the optimal temperature for whatever it is that you're vaping on. Okay, so those are the things. There's something else. I think there's something. Oh yes, the other thing is I'm on the titanium. It comes with a titanium atomizer, and I think out of these, none of them they're not rebuildable. So you just need to sort of switch and change them. So there's no big deal. They're these things. This is the nickel one. See how that comes? Right? You just basically screw that into the bottom of here, of that, and then you have the nickel atomizer. And I found the titanium one to be a little bit more flavorful, and it just vapes better at lower temperatures. So that's kind of cool, because the lower you can go and the lower you can go and vape and enjoy it, the better off you are, because the lower temperature you are going to be vaping at is going to be the temperature is basically meaning that you're not going to be burning off a lot of carcinogens, if any at all. So that is one thing that I really like about this, is the temperature control, is that you can change the temperature. I mean, it's got the wattage control as well, and you don't have to do temperature control, but I like the temperature control in this because, like I said, you're able to mess with the temperature and find the optimal point where it's really hitting sweetly, getting you a nice amount of vapor, taste, flavor, and the lowest temperature possible. Because if you're vaping at a really high temperature, you're burning. You're going to start vaporizing the temperatures are going to just be too hot for it to be pure vapor, and you're going to have carcinogens in there as well. And I mean, while it might be vapor, they're still vaping at a higher temperature, so it's probably a little bit of smoke in there as well, if it's even possible. I mean, I don't know. Please comment, let me know if you're some sort of a scientist or a doctor that could answer that. I mean, I'd like to know is if you raise the temperature high enough on this thing, will it actually bypass the vapor stage and go straight to combustion, which is sort of sublimation, I think is what the technical term is, if I remember correctly from chemistry. But I'd like to know that, if any of you guys are chemists or what have you, and know the answer or know how that would work, that would be great. But in the meantime, just keep it low. If you've got a temperature control one, stick it on the temperature control, and just play with it until you have the right sweet spot. I mean, I'm hitting here, this is 310, let's go back up to 320. I thought 320 was pretty good. So also not that much vapor, but then 340 is also a good, you're not going to be burning carcinogens there. And that's just at 340. Right? I mean, you could, safely vaporize this even, higher temperatures, different. I mean, it all is depending on the liquid, really. But what's interesting to note is I don't know if it's the same, but nicotine, if you're vaping with nicotine, I'm not vaping with nicotine, but if you're vaping with nicotine, I think nicotine needs to be vaped at a certain temperature, so you can't go below a certain temperature. So if you don't have the nicotine, then you could really just play with the temperatures and just find that optimal spot where you've got the flavor that is desirable and enjoyable by you, so that you can just hit it at the healthiest way possible. So I'm just going to take one more hit and bring it up to 360. Alright, so you see, even at 360 degrees, which is very low, you're still getting a decent cloud there. And, if you just want to see, we'll crank it up to 400. Alright, so there, I'm just cranking it up to 400. I disappeared, didn't I? Yeah, I'll do it sideways this way so you can see the actual clouds. Pretty insane, and that's just 400 degrees, and it's really light in here, and the sun is shining, and if it was dark and we had and I got a white office here, a white background, so if it was a dark background, it would be like, I mean, you would see the whole house, the whole place here is just full of vapor. Let me try it again. see that? I was just blowing it down so you could see the contrast off of the green shirt. And you see, as soon as it flew that way to the white, it just disappeared. Anyway, this thing does produce massive clouds even at 400 degrees. And I'm going to bring it back down to 340, where is my sweet spot, 320 to 340. There you go, nothing wrong with those clouds either. You don't need to be blowing the biggest clouds every single time. Alright, so guys, that's it. I'm going to leave you for now. It's Friday, so happy Friday, peace and love, and Freilichen Shabbos.